Hey, Coach Newberry talked about it's all about effort and execution. How has the effort and execution been with the offense in this lead up to Wagner?
Yeah, it's been actually much better. Last week in particular, I thought the guys responded correctly. Their attention to detail and their overall effort was much better and consistent through the week, which is the most important component. We have to have a sprint attitude in some ways, but we also have to understand it's a marathon. So that, in saying that, I mean, we have to stack days. We have to build consistency in our effort, consistency in our execution. I thought we definitely took some strides in that direction last week, and then we kept it going yesterday. I thought we had a very good day yesterday as well, with the same components at play, their effort, their attention to detail. So now obviously the goal is to go out today and do it again. So, very much one day at a time, one rep at a time right now, with our Zoom focus on each individual rep and doing these things consistently.
And that focus on Wagner, what did you see for Wagner in their first game against a very good Fordham team?
Yeah, absolutely. Wagner's big. That's one of the things that you look at, their nose guard, the Hallenbeck kid, he's 6'6", 330. They're a bigger, longer team on defense across all 11, really. And then because of the defense they run, they're a triple stack or a 3-3 stack front. So, they give you a lot of different looks, just the nature of that particular defense. So I was impressed with them, absolutely, and looking forward to the opportunity to get back and play a game.
And you've been on this side of one of these games as an FCS coach. What is it that makes these FCS teams so dangerous from your coaching perspective, as you must have been with your team really looking to knock off these teams
Yeah.
when you got to play an FBS team?
Well, absolutely. If you're an FCS team, it's an opportunity to go prove yourself, against the big boys, so to speak, right? The FBS world. So that's easy motivation. That gets your kids, locked in and obviously gives them, an attitude to go out there and compete and prove themselves. And then on the other side of it, sometimes guys can overlook, if you're playing a team from a lower division, because we also played Division II teams and had to deal with that. And so I think the most important thing for us right now, Scott, is exactly what we were just discussing is, Wagner's a good football team, but we have to zoom focus on us right now. And that does not imply that we're overlooking Wagner. It's quite the opposite. We've got to focus on doing our jobs with greater effort and greater execution. Obviously, taking and digesting what Wagner is going to do to defend us so that we can go out and do those things on a higher level.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Flags. So, Grant, what are you looking for out of the offense in this game? I mean, I think you got to have some goals. Moving on from Notre Dame.
Sure.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, absolutely, Wags. I think obviously the two broad ones. I want to see effort. The amount of loafs, which are guys not playing hard like they need to, was excessive coming out of Notre Dame. So obviously, we want to minimize that. Obviously, the goal for us any game is to have zero loafs, but we absolutely need to take a huge step forward in our consistent effort, and then as well as our execution. But the thing about playing hard is it's amazing how that leads to better execution. It gains you that little bit of leverage you need to sustain and make a block. It gains you that little bit of leverage you need, in whatever you're doing schematically with the person that gets the ball in his hands to break a big play. So those two broad categories are absolutely what we're looking for. We want to continue to implement our offense and grow. We're always going to take what the defense has given us, and each week the game plan will be based on that opponent and what they're going to do in defending us.
Coach Newberry mentioned shuffling some guys. He particularly mentioned the offensive line. Do you expect to roll out a different five along the offensive line on Saturday?
Potentially, it had the potential to be different, even more so. But with Larion's injury and him not being able to play, that has minimized a little bit of the changes to a degree, but there'll absolutely be a different lineup, guys in different places, rolling guys in maybe at different spots as we continue to work towards identifying, the 5 best guys to put out there, and also who are the top backups to roll in. If we're going to play hard like we expect to play and what our standard is, it's really advantageous to be able to roll in quality backup guys who can give you quality reps, so those other guys can continue to play hard at a high level, right? So we are working very hard to develop that depth right now, and that will be, quite honestly, a work in progress as we move forward through the season, as we continue, because there's no substitution for reps, and we have some young players who need reps to get better, practice reps and game reps. So, that's a part of the process this year. In a lot of ways, is each game, each practice gives you another opportunity to get experience that we desperately need right now.
So how did Justin Self do when he in place of Le'Veon at center? I presume Justin got the bulk of reps at center.
Yeah, so Self is going to be the center going into the game, absolutely, and excited about that. He played a good bit as Le'Veon was coming back from his appendicitis that he had. Le'Veon's had a tough go of it. He's such an outstanding young man. I really hate that he's in this circumstance. In this situation. But Self went through really camp in the first group at center and did a good job, and it gave him an opportunity to get some of these reps that I'm talking about that are so important. So I'm confident that he's going to go out there and settle in. I think at the Notre Dame game there was some nerves there for Brent that obviously played a part in some of the mistakes that were made. He is definitely settling in now, so I'm excited to go see him play. He and I were just having a conversation yesterday. He's fired up about Saturday. He was talking about the flyover. He was talking about playing at home. So I'm looking forward to seeing him compete on Saturday.
I think I also saw Josh Pena helped off the field at one point against Notre Dame. How is Josh okay? Is he good to go?
Yeah, Josh is, obviously played a lot of football here, so he's got, bumps and bruises, I would say, but just managing that with Josh, and keeping him out on the field, is something that we're going to have to do throughout the season. We're going to have to manage his reps to a degree. In order for him to be able to go play. So anticipating Josh playing on Saturday for sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
We lost Pete. I know he was in bad cell service, so we'll go back to Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, each and every one of the offensive linemen I've spoken to so far this season have talked about, in addition to the blocking at the line, the importance of getting downfield. And yep. While technique is a big part of that, it seems like from watching practice, that is all about effort for those blocks downfield.
There's no question. When you're playing hard like that, Scott, you're getting downfield. What you're creating is an opportunity for a touchdown block, right? You're going to wall somebody off. You're going to get in somebody's way in pursuit, and that creates chunk plays and touchdowns, long runs. And so that is absolutely one of the things that we're working really hard to do a better job of, chasing the football and backside cutoff blocks, which are all, as you're saying, all effort blocks.
And what does it mean for those offensive linemen to have, for example, a back like a Dava Fofana that they know if they get downfield and just maybe just nick the guy a little bit, it could make a difference with him going the distance? It's
great motivation for those guys. There's no doubt about it. They recognize that, hey, if I'll strain my body, if I'll work that much harder, Dava or Chat, these guys are going to go to the house, because they are dynamic players, so it absolutely motivates them, I believe, to play harder. They understand the importance of it. And like I said, I'm encouraged because it seems as though we are embracing it much more over the course of the last week. And, obviously looking forward to seeing it carry over to Saturday.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Pete, you want to go ahead and take a shot?
Yeah, if I can. Coach yesterday mentioned to us that Braxton Woodson has really improved in really the less than a month that you all have had him. what have you all seen from him that has allowed him now to at least get into the competitive portion of the depth chart?
Well, obviously he's a very talented athlete, and so that makes things come a little faster because the speed of the game, he's not having to work incredibly hard to catch up to the speed of the game at this level because he's a great athlete. But the most important thing is he's very intelligent. He has a very good, very sharp football mind. So he's picking up on what we're asking him to do quickly. And now it becomes a repetition situation where he begins to clean up the fundamentals of it so that he can be proficient and execute at the level he needs to. But, as freshmen go, been doing this a long time, and he is absolutely fast tracking in a way that you don't see, particularly at quarterback.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Wags.
So piggybacking off that, I mean, I was out of practice the other day, and Coach Newberry had indicated, we're seeing some things here recently that are really, exciting us about Braxton. I saw him in a red zone drill, fake a handoff, and boom, he was through the hole and in the end zone before you knew it. That's something you can't teach. I mean, you want quarterbacks in this system who are dangerous runners, who are a threat, who really make the defense have to respect. When you got a guy that if you leave him an opening, he's gone, that means a lot. Is that kind of what we're talking about with Braxton?
Absolutely, Wags. There's no question. He's that kind of dynamic player, and that's the athleticism piece, and then the fact that and his intelligence, his really his football IQ is what it is. It's going to give him an opportunity to help us sooner rather than later. Now, how soon that is totally going to be determined by Braxton and the progress he continues to make. We are very encouraged right now, and to say, hey, it's going to be this game, or I don't know that we're quite there yet, but he's definitely trending in a direction that is exciting for sure.
And with regard to Ty, I mean, obviously we talked about, impressive work by him to get back from the injury, to get himself so that he's the season opening starter. But I would imagine you feel good about where he can go. I mean, he has to have been behind a little bit by missing spring ball. I would imagine with every practice day, he's getting more of a better grasp of your offense and how to run it. He even indicated that, he learned in the Notre Dame game some things that he needed to do differently, do better. You feel good about where Ty could go?
Yes, absolutely. I'm comfortable with the progress that Ty's making, but at the same time, I'm impatient with all of us right now. I want to get better faster, right? So, and then this circles back to a comment I made earlier. Every rep is so important for us right now, and continues to be, and obviously it will be throughout the season. Every day we go out, every rep we take, whether it be in practice or a game, is critical for our growth right now. And Ty's no different. And he has improved these things that he was mentioning, the things that he learned in the Notre Dame game. Sometimes, you can be told, but until you get in a game and you go do it and you see the result, positive and negative, that's the impact that game reps have, right? So I'm really encouraged by the progress that he has made over the course of the last week and even through yesterday's practice. So just got to stack a day to day, right? That's our goal.
So Pete Medhurst and I were taping the Anchors Away podcast this morning and talking Navy football and this upcoming game. And Pete, the analytical mind that he is, said that maybe Navy has to be careful not to show too much of its offense against Wagner when you've got a huge conference game looming the following Thursday. Is that something you think about? I mean, when you're going into a game like this?
What I'm thinking about candidly is, what do we need to do to win this football game? Because this is a huge football game, because it's the next one on the schedule, and we need to go out and perform better, and we need to win. So the way I approach game planning for this game is like I approach it for every game. It's the only game that matters. So we're going to look, at everything we can do to win this game, You know, from a schematic standpoint, it is a very unique defensive system that they run. Not a ton of people in college football do this anymore. So that brings on, its own, challenges to a degree, but also, allows you to look at things and build out a plan that may be a little different.
I'm sorry. What is so unique about their defense?
Well, it's what we call a 3-3 stack. So, it's a unique defense. It's kind of a hodgepodge. You have an odd front, like a 50 defense down lineman. You have 3 linebackers in the box, and then you have, a single high secondary. So, and then the way they play it is even somewhat unique. So, I'm looking forward to it.